Yerp, yerp, yes, sir. Bang, bang, Niner gang, Niner Nation, what's going on? Let's talk about this game against the Packers on Sunday night. What a great game. Came down to the wire, 37 seconds left, no timeouts. And two plays to the one guy that I said in my preview video that could not beat us is Davante Adams. And guess what he did all night long? He beat our ass all night long. Just to pull out my notes that I had and on my preview, three keys for the Packers to win. The first key was, guess what? Protect Aaron Rodgers. And guess what they did? They protected Aaron Rodgers. He got the ball out of his hands very quickly on some short passes to make sure that he protected them. We only had one sack. We did pressure him a lot, but only one sack. Suffocate the Niners running game and make Jimmy G beat you. And guess what the Packers did? They suffocated our running game. We could not run the ball at all. And Jimmy G almost beat him. But hey, that's what the Packers had to live with, right? And number three, they had to try to be more balanced on offense. They did run about the same amount of plays running offense. So my three keys for a Packers win, went down. You couldn't call it better. The Packers did exactly what they needed to do to win this game. Let's talk about the offense and some things that I think we can improve on just from watching the game. I saw Zane on Twitter. Shout out Zane. I saw Zane on Twitter say something that I was thinking earlier when I was taking my son to the bus stop. And that was that the 49ers don't have a real deep threat at the wide receiver position. And this is something I was thinking about while sitting waiting for my son's bus to come up. And it's true. It is definitely true, man. We do not have a deep threat position. When I say deep threat at wide receiver, when I say deep threat, I mean someone who can run a go route, run a streak route, and beat their man convincingly to where the quarterback has to throw the ball as far as they can. They'll run up under it and catch it. Now, we have great yak guys who can run post, slants, guys who can run ins and outs and catch the ball and break tackles and get down the field and give you a lot of yards. But as far as guys who can get down the field and catch a long pass, I think Emmanuel Sanders was the last guy that I trusted as being a deep threat like that can actually get over the top of a DB and beat him consistently deep. Or we haven't had a guy who I think that we can throw jump balls up to at the wide receiver position, that we can throw jump balls up to and have them come down with it. I don't see it, man. Debo's great in yak. Ayuk's great in yak. Mohamed Sanu, and those guys, Sheffield, all those guys. But I don't see anybody who's a legitimate deep threat who can take the top off the back end of a defense to give the defense that threat of, hey, we're going to have to stay back a little bit at safeties because these guys can go deep. These guys can beat us deep. I don't see that. And so what that does, that goes right into my next speaking point about the offense is the running game. We could not get the running game off against the Packers because the Packers was stacking the box. The Packers was saying, hey, you guys got to beat us, and you guys going to have to beat us over the top. We're not going to let you run the ball down our throat like you've done in years past. And stuff like that. So we're going to stack the box, and we're going to make you guys beat us. And beat us throwing the ball over the top. And for the most part, Jimmy G played a good game. The wide receivers played a great game. But, let's be honest, right? Let's be honest. We didn't really throw the ball down. I think the one pass that we did actually throw deep was an interception by Jair Alexander. And that was to Kittle. That wasn't even to a receiver. So yeah, man, I just don't know, man. I just don't know. 2-point loss to the Packers, which wasn't bad, considering all things considering, being that we were down 17-7 at halftime to come back and win that game. First half was horrible offensively. We couldn't get the ball moving. The running game wasn't doing anything. Jimmy G couldn't get consistent. Wide receivers couldn't get open consistently enough. Defense, man. Defensive backs, man. Defensive backs is an issue right now. Davante Adams beat us by himself, y'all. I'm just going to put it out there. He beat us by himself. He had more than half of Aaron Rodgers' catches and more than half of Aaron Rodgers completions and more than half of Aaron Rodgers yards. He had 12 receptions for 132 yards. No other wide receiver had more than 4 catches. And only 2 other wide receivers had catches. I think Allen Lazard had 4 catches and Valdez Scantling only had 1. And that was it. That was it for wide receivers. And the tight end only had Toyin only had 1 reception for 6 yards. The rest were running backs out of the backfield and Devontae Adams. And the one thing I said we could not do is let Devontae Adams beat us. And that's what happened, man. But that's what happens when you down. You know, you got your number one cornerback in Mosley back, but he can't do it all by himself. And you was down, you know, your next 3 cornerbacks. So, you know, you had to put the rookie in there. And the rookie, once they seen the rookie in there, they set it up to where he had to match up on Devontae a couple times. And that was it, man. Lack of a pass rush. We could not get a pass rush going on these guys, and they were down a few guys on the offensive line. They were down to their third string left tackle, and we still was not able to get any pressure on Rodgers. And I think that has something to do with the defensive coordinator not realizing that this is not the same 49ers defensive line of pass that can just get pressure with front four. That we would need to bring a little more guys and mix up coverages in the back end and blitzes and stuff like that. So I'm not going to put that all on the players. I'm also going to put that also on the scheme of the defensive coordinator because, like I said, if we can't get it with the four, with the Russian four, then you give Aaron Rodgers all day. When you give Aaron Rodgers all day back there, he's going to pick you apart, and that's what happened, man. We got a lot of pass interference calls because we were one-on-one deep and we couldn't cover those guys. And so that kept a lot of their drives alive that shouldn't have been alive. Very winnable game. I think it's a game that we should have won if we had played better in the first half. But we just could not get over the hump in the first half until the last drive of the first half where we actually did go down to score. But yeah, man, the first half was tough to watch. Second half was a lot better defensively until the fourth quarter. You know, Jimmy played a lot better in the second half. He found some guys open. We started picking apart their zone and doing some things in that regard. Got a little better in the run game in the second half. But that last drive with 37 seconds left and no timeouts, and the guy who caught the 2 crucial passes to get these guys into field goal range was none other than guess who? Devontae damn Adams. And at this point, you gotta blame that on the defensive coordinator. At that point, anybody else could beat us besides Devontae Adams. I would have been happy if it had been Valdez-Scantling, if it had been Allen Lazard, if it had been Robert Toyin. I'd have been happy with any of those guys beating us, right? But it was Devontae Adams, man. It was Devontae Adams. Didn't seem like we shaded over on him enough when we were playing zone. And then on that last play, for some reason, when they were only like maybe 10, 15 yards outside of field goal range, we were playing, if you look at that play, we were playing about 7 to 8 yards off of Devontae Adams. And all he did was run a quick hitch route, catch the ball, and get in field goal range for these guys, and that was it. And that's all they needed. And like I said, so I didn't understand I did not understand the play calling. It was weird to me on that last. You would think with 37 seconds left and no timeouts, knowing that they had to pass the ball to get in the field goal range, I mean, you would just think that we would have had a better coverage call. A better coverage call. Now don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. We were in position. If I'm not mistaken, it was Fred Warner who was maybe inches away from tipping that ball to Devontae Adams, but I just feel like we should have had somebody following him, man. We should have been. I don't know if there's a boxing one in NFL, but we should have been in some kind of zone to where he was in man, but everybody else was in zone. So they had somebody manned up on him, but everybody else was in zone. That's what we should have been, some kind of combo coverage on Devontae Adams that entire last series. Once I saw that it was 37 seconds left and they only needed to get in field goal range, and Crosby's a pretty reliable field goal kicker, I told my wife, I was like, man, listen, now I don't think we got this in the bag. I didn't celebrate. I didn't jump on no social media. Once we scored that last touchdown, I didn't celebrate. I didn't jump on any social media. I didn't do anything of that nature because I wanted to make sure that we were going to be able to stop Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams. And we just couldn't do it, man. We just couldn't do it. It was a good fought game, a hard fought game. At the end of the day, you got to live with this loss, man. I mean, it wasn't like they came in there and blew us out. They outplayed us in the first half. We outplayed them in the second half. It just came down to that last drive, and we could not stop the Aaron Rodgers to Devontae Adams connection. which sucks, man. It does suck. We should be 3-0, but we're 2-1 now. We move ahead to the Seahawks at home. We got to get better, man. Pass rush has to get better. We got to find some help in the secondary. We're going up against the Seahawks, the Cardinals next. We got the Rams coming up. We're going up against some good quarterbacks and some good receiving cores coming up. So if we can't get any pressure on the quarterback with the way our DBs have been falling and the way the ones that have been playing, it's going to be a long season, man. It is going to be a long season. My biggest area of concern right now is the back end of the defense. And not even safety-wise, cornerback-wise is my biggest concern right now because we play against in this schedule, we play against some good quarterbacks and some good receiving corps. And if we can't shore up the cornerback room and be able to guard somebody, especially if we're not going to be able to get pressure on anybody, I do not see how this bowl's as successful for us Niners fans, Niner Nation. But on to the Seahawks, which I do think is a very winnable game at home. We can improve to 3-1 and then move on to the Cardinals. But let's take care of the Seahawks first. You guys let me know down in the comment section what was your biggest area of concern watching the Packers game and how we can improve moving forward. And as always, like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. And Niner Gang, bang, bang, I am Rail, and I have a damn sports opinion. Signing out.